eliminate hatred, envy, jealousy, selfishness, and cynicism by developing love for all humanity. Developing love for all humanity. I will succeed by attracting to myself the forces I wish to use and the cooperation of other people. Because I know that a negative attitude toward others can never bring me success. I will cause others to believe in me because I will believe in them and in myself. I will sign my name to this formula.
Inspiration is about defining your visions and your dreams and really manifesting it so that everyone can feel it around you, so that other people can support you and you can inspire the world and really change it for the better.
It depends on what inspires the people, you know. For instance, life itself is an inspiration to be alive and to look at the positive aspects of life, you know, all the situations in life. That's it.
Who has been an inspiring figure in your life?
Yeah, so actually my master's advisor, I was going through a very rough time and it was very challenging. It was a lot of work for me. And they really sat me down and I was crying in their office and they told me that, believe it or not, all humans have a surprisingly large amount of control in your life. So you can really change. So I was in the mindset that things were going to spiral away into oblivion. But when they said that to me, I realized that it's within me to create everything, to change the world, to inspire everything.
Wow. Freddy Cougar.
Oh, hey.
What did you want to be as a child, Freddy?
Spiderman. I always wanted to be Spiderman.
You always want to be Spiderman? You settled for Freddy?
How can I do?
That's not bad. That's not bad. You did good. We're all proud of you.
Thank you.
Enjoy your day.
Thank you.
Who in your life has kind of been like a source of inspiration to you? Or you kind of look up to?
Lately, when many people during life, fictitious people and real people. You know, like when I was a little kid, Spiderman was my inspiration.
Yeah.
You know what I said?
Ticket.
No problem.
OneWayTicket.
What did you guys want to be when you guys were kids?
You know, I wanted to be a giraffe, but I had to settle for this. I'm a lion.
How about you, Chewy?
I'm still waiting to grow up.
I love it.
It's important to inspire people, you know, even if they don't donate, you know, the fact that I can plant the seed of world peace and giving.
Where does the money go?
This is going to the LA Food Bank.
Wow, really?
Yeah, absolutely. I believe that we should start around locally. You know, there's so many people who are in need. You know, and we have so much capability to give. And through giving, we find happiness.
Wow, I love it. Yeah. Do you believe that one person can really have a big effect?
I do. You know, I stand as a source and creation of everything around me. And if I don't start with myself, then nothing will occur.
Wow. What advice would you have for someone maybe a few years behind you that is inspiring to do something meaningful in life?
My advice is to define your dreams, to really feel. We're stuck in our heads all the time. Instead, if we felt with our hearts and we really discovered what our dreams are, what's bigger than us, something that will stand the challenge of redesign, that's a dream worth living for.
This is great. I have a very simple question. I would like some clarity on being an uplifter. The only uplifters I know are small children. And as I'm going through my experiences, I find myself wanting to be more like a young boy again. So could you help clarify being an uplifter for me?
Well, when you think about uplifting in a literal sense, it is raising vibration, which is the same thing as releasing resistance. So it makes sense that those new ones in who have had less opportunity to get hung up in the step one resistant part of life would naturally still have higher vibrations. Animals are that way too. And so let's talk about the components that are present in these non-resistant beings. They don't hold grudges. They don't tend to think about things so much. They don't work things over and over. They spend less time trying to figure things out. They are more eager to move from thing to thing. They just have less habit of negative thought. That really is all it is. Now, that's not true of all of them. So when you realize that what uplifting is alignment, and what the opposite of it is being out of alignment, and you say, how can I return to that? Jerry has said for years, long before he began cavorting with the likes of us, that he wanted to write a book, Except Ye Be as Little Children, because he finds that the little ones, they're pure of heart. They haven't developed these patterns of thought that hold them apart from who they are. Everyone is that, really. Everyone is that. No matter how old or how disconnected you become, you still are more that non-physical essence than you are resistant. In fact, there's not a stream of resistance. There's not a stream of negativity. There's not a stream of darkness. You don't walk into a room and look for the dark switch, thinking that it will make inky, misty darkness come in and cover up the light. It's just a pinching off or a resisting of the light. And so when you realize that everyone may be a little pinched off, but all that is required is to stop the pinching. In other words, it's a matter of no longer doing that thing you do. You don't have to do something to raise your vibration. You just have to stop doing that thing you do that keeps it from raising. It will raise naturally. It's like a cork that you hold under the water, but when you let go, it will always go back to the surface. The fastest way that we know of helping anyone return to their childlike, non-resistant, uplifting, fresh, tuned in, tapped in, turned on state is to make a decision to let go of your erroneous, bogus, never worked, never will habit of trying to control the circumstances and events. We think it is that one factor that holds more people back from their true uplifting nature. The feeling that I want to feel good, but I can't feel good when I see that, so I have to control that, but I can't control that. I want to feel good, but I can't feel good when I see that, but I can't control that. So little by little, people have given up their connection by trying to seek control that they can't achieve. It isn't until you finally realize that it isn't about controlling circumstances so that you can feel better. It's about thought by thought, gently controlling the direction of your thought, reaching for thoughts that feel a little better and a little better until you just tune yourself back into the frequency of who you really are. If children gravitate to you, you're already pretty close there. In other words, that's why they like you. Jerry talks about when Esther walks into a grocery store or to a restaurant, the little ones, and the littler they are, the more he sees it. They just look right at Esther. Esther said, I think it's just my big hair. And Jerry said, I think it's your energy. It's sort of like they have these buttons, I'm one too, I'm one too, I'm one too. And so what does that mean? I'm tuned into who I really am. I'm seeing the world through the eyes of Source. That's what you're seeing when you see a child. They're still looking at the world through the eyes of Source. They still believe it's going to be all right. They still have that sense of stability. They still have an eagerness about having come. They still are wanting to dig into whatever variety surrounds them. Do you see how eager they are to explore it and examine it for the content of satisfaction that it will provide for them? So these are the things we would do if we were standing in your physical shoes and we wanted to become more aligned as children are. We would look for things to appreciate, and when we find something that is easy to appreciate, we would milk it. We would appreciate it and appreciate it. We would talk about it. We would even write it down. We would make a decision to look for positive aspects everywhere we are, no matter where we are, standing in line, even driving, coming into a beautiful room like this with beautiful chandeliers. We would look for things to appreciate, and we would make lists of the positive aspects everywhere we are. We would recognize that the way we feel is our indication of our alignment or not with that, and we would say on a frequent basis, I'm going to try to do my best to find the best feeling thought that I can find from where I am. And we would not be hard on ourselves. We would be sort of self-determined like children are, sort of stubbornly sure, at least in the beginning, that they are right. They give up their freedom reluctantly. And if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would take it back deliberately and we would give it up never again. Great fun.
Thank you very much.